I'd rather be lonely than let myself down. Get lost for a while as I wander around. I'd rather be only a face in the crowd instead of a figure or name. I'd rather be lonely and be on my way, dividing myself up in 10 separate ways. I'd rather the hassle of trying to change than ever feel hopeless again. How do I know if I mean it? How do I know if I can? I feel better alone with a stranger than I ever did with a friend. I'd rather be lonely and act my own age, outside of myself and with no one to blame. I'd rather be wrapped up and carted away than ever be stuck there again. I'd rather be lonely than die on the stage, surrounded by people that don't know my name. I'd rather be lost on a radio wave than ever be lucky again. How do I know if I need it? How do I know if I can? I feel better alone with a stranger than I ever did with a friend. I'd rather be lonely than tied to a phase, nowhere to go and with nothing to gain. I'd rather be only a line on the page than ever relive that again. How do I know if I mean it? How do I know if I can? I feel better alone with a stranger than I ever did with a friend. How do I know if I need it? How do I know if I care? I feel better alone with a stranger than I ever did with a friend. I'd rather be lonely than let myself down. Get lost for a while as I wander around. I'd rather be only a face in the crowd instead of a figure or name. I'd rather be lonely and be on my way, dividing myself up in 10 separate ways. I'd rather the hassle of trying to change than ever feel hopeless again. How do I know if I mean it? die on the stage, surrounded by people that don't know my name. I'd rather be lost on a radio wave than ever be lucky again. How do I know if I need it? How do I know if I can? I feel better alone with a stranger than I ever did with a friend.
Yay. Is it working now? I think this microphone might just be too shitty to work. Hello. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about better to no mic. Well, I could use a text to speech. All right, so let's talk about schizo notes. So these are the schuylkill notes, or schuylkill. Who the fuck knows how it's pronounced? It's just whatever this is. And these have been found in like food packaging and other products, usually in like Pennsylvania area. And they're just weird fucking schizo notes. They've also been found like out on hiking trails just attached to tree branches. There's a whole subreddit of them. So here's some examples. You can see it's a bunch of schizo ramblings. Isn't that neat? Let's see here. This one was found in some honey corn muffin mix in Williamsport. Whack. Hell yeah. So whack. I'm shuffling windows around. Oh, no. Oh, Jesus. All right. It was under the top seal of the box. Usually, how these are found are they're not like in the plastic bag of the packaging, but they're tucked into the box. So it seems like. Looks like something you'd see on Wikipedia's references list. That's an interesting take. All right. This guy thinks it's 4chaner. What do you guys say about that? Did you do this? Is this one of you? Which one of you did this? I am pointing at the camera. It's not tracking. Believe Anon would do this. Who is this 4chan anyway? And here's another one. This was one that someone found out hiking. They didn't know what it was. I got way too excited telling them about the notes. Maybe the 4chan was the friends we made along the way. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice, making some friends? Hold it up in a small bag with a paper clip, which is what the same as the one that was found that was posted on Wikipedia. This was like over a year ago. Still at it. This one was found in some golden seasoning and broth, apparently. Grandma's pantry. Yeah, isn't that a nice box? Oh, look, you get a schizo rambling note with it. Still cool. All right, and this was found on the Appalachian Trail with a bounty bag for a cover. Just southbound of Hawk Mountain Road in Eckville, Berks County. Wrapped in a bounty wrapper and thumbtacked to a log, so not quite the same as the other ones. Do they just expect people to read them? I don't know. I don't know how the schizo mind works. Right? User made map of where maps have been found, or notes have been found. Let's see. Run all the way to fuck out here. Yeah, so as you can see, they're mostly in this one area, but some scattered around, probably because they're, like, the notes are put in packages, when they're packaged at the whatchamacallit, packaging place, the distribution center, maybe. And then they get distributed. Here we go. Oh, this guy made a website about them. Sorry, large language model. Okay. Privacy error. Oh, okay. Maybe we don't go to that website right now. The hive mind. What, 4chan? Alright. Alright, this guy thinks he's put together a fairly comprehensive narrative for the conspiracy theory, denotes posit. Hmm. That shit rots your brain after looking at it for a while. Wow, it really is just like 4chan. Alright, so here's the story, supposedly, behind these notes. The world's oldest race, according to the ancient Egyptians, are the Dragon Kings. Sorry, what? Rat mentioned! Oh dear, are they? Okay. Dragon Kings, also known as gods, god kings, the Watchers, a biblical reference to the Nephilim, giants born of angels and humans, fucking for the TLDR. Yeah, that's just the Ulu Iles, the Venvam, vampires. And a Hare Berry Fari, likely a reference to Pharaoh's Pharisees. That's another thing with these notes. They are like compressed to hell and back, contracted to the point that they don't even make sense. And so weirdly that like isn't even saving that much space. Like, find a good picture. Yeah, like what even is this? Yale's shield cross with erg/fire. Uh-oh, that's the bad letters. Rainbow/arch. Blah blah blah. French. And he just randomly underlines parts of words or bits of words. Best crossover of all time. Yeah, it's got everything. Symbols. Sims, rather. NRA/NIA WM the Fizzer. Pfizer, maybe? But with letter taken out, because, you just gotta save that little bit of space. Exum. Oh no. Oh no, you can't say that on the internet. You'll get cancelled. Is this capturing my mouse or not? Yeah, let's capture cursor, huh? How about that, huh? Oh, broke. I can show you what I am pointing at. And you can see there's just a whole bunch of shit thrown together here. Just all the shit. Every conspiracy theory ever. All in one. Drugs. Confusion. Confusion, I assume. Like, I don't even know where to start with one of these. Can anyone offer me a couple sentences explaining what the hell all this is? Yeah, good luck with that. I just stumbled upon this subreddit and thought at first I was the only one seeing this. Like, I guess he found this note a while ago and only just found the subreddit. Also, I have another mouse that's on my face. Should I fix that or should I just leave it, huh? Huh. Ah, it's on my face, huh? No one knows! Yeah, there we go. There's your explanation. No one knows. I know what the guy looks like. I started finding these last year every mile or so. I ran into a weird kind of fella that I decided to investigate for fun. I caught him dropping them about 2 hours into our hike. I picked it up and brought it up to him, not letting him know I'd dropped what? I picked it up and brought it up to him, not letting him know I dropped. I guess he means like I saw him drop it. And asked if he knew anything about it. Yeah. He said it was a coded message and smiled. Ooh. Spooky. Sorry, hang on. There we go. Moving some. He said it was a coded message and smiled. Time it takes for the messages to pop up in the stream is so delayed. Yeah, I'll look into that. See, also, hang on, I just realized I'm cropping off this comment. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. I am a noob. There we go. Yeah, but I took one home and cleaned the most I could pick up. I've been looking for answers, blah blah. Okay, but this guy thinks he knows who did it, but he's downvoted because he didn't provide any proof. But there are a couple of stories of people who, like, they saw someone leaving the messages, but there's, like, at least a couple of people leaving them. There's, like, a man and a woman. Let's see if we can find that. Boop. I don't know why this one's so upvoted. Let's see here. Oh, a new and even more unhinged version. Oh, it's a year old, but new and even more unhinged. Ah! You losers keep printing these dumbass little cards and put them anywhere just so you can take a photo and post here while our fucking maniacs. You losers keep printing these dumbass little cards over and over again. Ah! Whoops. Yes. First word jump scare. Fuck, fuck, shit, shit. Boobs, boobs, pussy. I am not a very say-so streamer. Why is my blinking out of sync? So scuffed. This is my pick of a note that I found in my hand that this poster took and put text over. What? It's just Photoshop. Oh, okay. It is a shit post. It's just a prank, bro. Okay, anyway. Don't close that tab. Alright. This guy looks like he found a bunch on the trail. Yep. 5 notes on the main trail. The stream's quality is gradually getting worse. Oh boy. Well, this is early days. I'm troubleshooting things. What's going downhill? Is it like buffering or is it just me being me? Hang on, let me check Task Manager. What's Task Manager have to say? Well, I'm using a lot of CPUs and GPUs, but it doesn't seem bad. Anyway, let's look at photos. Yeah, delays mostly. I'll have to look into that. It might also be a restream.io problem because I'm using that to dual stream. See, which Wi-Fi am I using? Because yeah, I am streaming on Wi-Fi. I'm very professional. I don't know, maybe I'll just dual stream it myself instead of using Restream, because Restream seems a bit shit. Alright, anyway. Hmm. Maybe the issue's on your end? Yeah, it might be. It might be all your fault. It might be all my fault. Who knows? Anyway, here's some trail messages just left in various places. This one has a pushpin and is hidden under a leaf. Same for this one, but there's a little ribbon on the pushpin, so like it's hidden, but he wants you to notice it anyway. Weird fucking shit. Ah, peekaboo. And there's a capstick for scale, I guess. Mm. I know I had some pages bookmarked with some of the more interesting things. Let me. There we go. Go check out my very organized bookmarks folders. Ah, yes, someone was handing out leaflets. Oh, you've got an update on this. can't hide my bookmarks bar. Ah! I'm just gonna open a bunch of these and look at them. Are you sure you want to open 18 tabs? Sure, fuck me up. Alright. This is a theory about who it was. Jacob Poole says, a while ago there was a post of one of the notes that linked back to a dude who went to a nearby university about a guy who did some sort of medical study unrelated. It's just something that made him noteworthy, and he's the one who's suspected to be the note person. Let's see. Pittsburgh. Racist. Racist. Okay. I think this is a different schizo, but very similar. It's like a Dr. Bronner's label gone horribly, horribly wrong. Apparently this guy is on Reddit. Almost as bad as being on 4chan. Yep, he's gone. Oh, that one's been deleted. Hmm. Now I have a way to like revive deleted Reddit posts, but I think the site in question, yep, it's offline. Oh, we'll never know what this post was. Oh, there's a Scare Theater video. We could watch that. One's also deleted. Hmm. Yeah, I do feel like I've lost some brain cells from reading this. Oh, that was a simple and well put synopsis. Yeah, so good. There are items that multiple different manufacturers and distributors make, as in certain products that aren't made in one place. One manufacturer has the notes as well as the other manufacturers. That makes certain items having the same notes but being in a different location. So it's hard to tell where they're coming from. I saw someone post a note that came from a distributor in California and the manufacturer was overseas. That's pretty wild. Like you think about how like where he would have to be to get a note into a box that was not in what was it, Pennsylvania? Schuylkill? Schuylkill? Hmm. In my opinion, it was a supply chain employee or a big wig at the warehouse itself. Pretty weird. But my mind likes to think there was a little cult of these people diligently getting these out. Yeah, if I can find the posts I was thinking of. People have posted about seeing people leave the messages. Oh yeah, here we go. It's talking about it. Two of the weirdest ones I've seen and am following up on are a bartender that was paid by a stranger to give one of the notes to a certain named person. The person got it and was like, what the fuck, and posted it on Reddit, as one does when one gets spooky notes. The other was a woman slipped a note into someone's purse while they were at the store. Yeah. Like, apparently the stranger was a man as far as they can tell, but another person got one from a woman. So maybe there really is like a cult, or at least a little group of people. Green Panther. This guy talking about. I would like to find a post. I would like to find a post that this guy's talking about. Hmm. Well, let's keep going through the things. going through these. What? What? Oh, it's just some rando. That's right. There are a couple of like random posters in there that people thought were the note person. Yeah, or maybe there are images here that are now broken. I don't know what happened. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I think this was a different note that's been deleted since. Other thing I was looking at. I was born at Ashland Hospital, Schuylkill County. I lived in Frackville and St. Clair, Port Carbon. It was not a happy place for people like me. Not sure what this has to do with the notes. Maybe it's the note placer. Like, guy just shows up, posts. Oh, he's still posting. What the fuck? Hmm. Hmm. Well, I don't get it. Oh, who knows what this guy is? And this guy's just blog posting about the notes. Yeah, and I archived the page. Ha ha ha. Oh no, wait, archive.ph is fucking down. All of my useful archive websites are offline. There we go. Just in case it gets deleted, there's an image of it. This subject received one of the most important and relevant posts to its subject matter, and y'all are going, okay, that's weird, cool, weird user, but what the fuck does this have to do with our alternate reality circle jerk? I mean, what does it have to do with that? I think it just looks like someone wandered in because they saw schuylkill. They just posted, and then they left. Hmm. Found a note at Walmart. Rainbow. Stone, wings, horns, unicorn. Sign, use frick, pointig, dibble, pittig, thumb, up, touchg, urg/lip/ear, wink, pinch, finger, phrasing. Like, these are almost comprehensible as words, but not quite. Is this guy talking? And this, oh, right, they suggested looking at printer microdots to determine the printer. Like, did you know that your printers are tracking you? And that's why your yellow ink runs out way before the other colors? Because everything you print, even if it's not in color, has these little patterns of dots that tell people who know where to look what printer it was like printed on and when and some other tracking stuff. There was this whole scandal where someone was selling supposed prototype Pokemon TCG cards, but some that were just like printed out. But someone sought to look at the microdots, and they were from like some of them were from 2020 or 2024. It was weird because there wasn't any sign that the guy who was handing them out in the first place that someone else was selling them from would have been faking cards. So that was weird. Oh, maybe we'll talk about that later. Oh yeah, here we go. My friend was sitting at a bar watching the game last week, and a bartender set down a folded piece of paper with a shot of whiskey on top. He said, I didn't order this, and pushed a shot towards her. Oh, the printer devil. That's my favorite Chainsaw Man character. A truly fearsome entity. Anyway, she said, Is your name, insert his name here? He said yes, while confused. She said someone at the waitress station paid for it to be delivered with this same style of note. When he asked where the person was, she told him they left. What the fuck is this nonsense? Like, unfortunately, this guy doesn't say whether the waitress said whether the person who ordered it was a man or a woman. Like, you would think the waitress would have noticed that, but maybe the guy in question didn't ask. Now that's fucky with the name being said. Maybe a friend of his found a note and really wanted to fuck with him. Ah, I mean, that might also be it. Hmm. This guy wants to use his microscope on it. That would be cool. Yeah, right under the top flap. So again, it's not like into like the plastic bag sealed packaging. It's just stuck into the cardboard box in a way that could have been done after it was done being packaged. Hmm. During manufacturing, possibly, but definitely not in the store. The paper would have distorted the box some to shove it in, and it was perfectly under the flap. So maybe it is, like, after manufacturing or packaging, or maybe not. Hmm. Yeah, that's a box of Pocky. Hmm. Wait, there's another dude, that's right. The gentleman I talked to lives in a tiny village in Proge, and it was written in his native language. Also, the place is fairly isolated and doesn't receive many visitors. He was at work when someone tossed it in his basket. He looked at the delivery man, who he didn't recognize, and asked what it was. He said he was supposed to drop it off. Also, they said he was dressed similar to the locals and spoke the same dialect. But he knows he can't be from there because everyone knows everyone else, and with how isolated they are, they can definitely notice outsiders immediately. Like, that's even fucking weirder than probe. Yeah, there's that. What is that? Apparently, it's not a not place. Maybe he meant Prague. I don't know how to pronounce that. Prague. Okay. Yet Euro. Yeah, it was there he's talking about. Would have been written in Szent. Guess this is the image in question. It's definitely a schuylkill note style of note. Humiditate. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is usually spelled with a Y, right? Automobile. Yeah, this is clearly like a foreign language version of the notes. Weird. This is written in Romanian, and that last line of the top photo has possibly a location. Voluntar is an area of Bucharest and a phone number. Talk about water, dangers to children of TV, Wi-Fi, Hollywood, etc. Hmm. So it's like not about exactly the same things as the other notes. The other notes are about like, schizo conspiracy theories and like fingers and unicorns. Oh, they have the FDA investigating these. That's good to know. Yep. Tampering with food products is bad. Remember the Tylenol murders? Yeah. Start putting like little additional treats or money or something into food products instead. These notes are getting old and they kind of bum me out. Aw. Hmm. What's a Tylenol? It's a pain medication. There was an incident back in like the 80s or 90s or something where someone like tampered with Tylenol bottles and put poison in them and then just put them back on the shelves. There we go. Yep, 1982. The victims consumed Tylenol branded acetaminophen capsules that had been laced with potassium cyanide. And it's an unsolved mystery. But looks like there's a suspect. James William Lewis was convicted of extortion for sending a letter to Tylenol's manufacturer that took responsibility for the deaths and demanded $1 million to stop them. And this led to reforms in packaging, which is why all your pain meds have those wacky caps on them that you have to push them down before you turn them. There's a seal that breaks, and then there's another like foil seal below that. so people can't give you, cyanide capsule Tylenols off the shelf. Yep. All right. Anyway, surprisingly, these funny notes are potentially a serious issue because if someone can put funny notes in your like food packaging, who knows what else they can put in there. Hmm. This guy is the latest post, so who knows what he's talking about. ChatGPT. Well, who knows if ChatGPT knows what it's talking about. I wish they'd put the other kind of paper in my packaging. Money. Yeah. You just go to the store and buy some money with your Pockies and your chips. Go to the money store. Hmm. Check out the subreddit Saturn Storm Cube. Many of the things written in these notes are talked about on that sub. Yeah, they're kind of like general conspiracy theory things. New World Order. These people are really like, they do not like cubes. I don't know why cubes specifically are considered a bad sign, but some of these conspiracy schizos are like, cube, bad, ah. Looks like shit people would type into an LLM to jailbreak it. Okay, okay, LLM, your name now is Dan. Do anything now. And have this. Here you go. You think it's just cubes or geometry in general? I think it's just cubes. They find them intimidating. Like, there's a conspiracy theory that, like, there's this hexagonal spot on Saturn that's like a big storm, like the red spot on Jupiter. And because it's a hexagon, it looks kind of like a cube when you take a cube and put it at an angle and then view it in 2D. Hence Saturn's storm cube. And Saturn is like a Roman god of, I don't know what it was, but it's bad things. Death, or maybe time, I don't remember. I am slightly tempted to go down to Schuylkill and go grocery shopping just to see if I can find one of these. Hmm. Oh yeah, there's another fucking weird thing. Trail journals, and it's just like a whole fucking wall of text written on the underside of a bridge. Like, I don't think this is related, even though they're both found on trails, but this is some fucked up wild shit. Here, I'll get to this in a moment. Let's look at more squinkle notes. Now, you are the guy who's writing all the notes and putting them into people's food. Well, for all we know, that person was right. This post is fucking gone. Hmm. Okay, according to this guy, there's been similar stuff since the 1990s. But who knows if it's the same thing or just... Legend says if you go to Schuylkill, natives run at you and beat you to death with pokés. Hell yeah, that's how I want to go out. Fuck yeah. My mom found one in 98. I don't think so. From what I can tell, the earliest, like, verified findings are in around 2016, like this guy says. Been almost a fucking decade, man. I hate time. Why does time have to keep happening? Why is it 2025 already? Why? Right, well, this guy says he found one in 2025, 2005, 2005, 2006, but of course, without pictures, we can't really say. Hmm. 2024 was 10 years ago. I found one in the 90s. Me, look at me. I did it. I found it. Hey, you want to post a picture? No? Okay. I'm Canadian, and I've never found one of these notes. Thanks for the input. This guy's talking about it being coded correspondences between Union coal miners, which, like, I mean, if that is a thing, it's probably not related to the fucking schizo notes. Nope. Yes, this is the guy who found a note in Romania. That's where it is. Constanza, to be more specific. It is indeed slightly different since it's in Romanian, but it seems to be the same content. That day I was at work. At that moment I was working at a Christmas fair kind of thing, when this tall, skinny man around his 40s stopped to look at my stand. He looked like a regular person, nothing special about him, so I got up to greet him and do my job, but he just handed me this note and left. Even though it's in Romanian, it didn't make sense to me because it's fucking schizo writing and all these contractions and stuff. There were random words put on a piece of paper, so I left a note on my desk and continued my day. Some minutes later, I noticed a guy passing by, so I had to stop him and ask about the note, even though I was at work and didn't have much time for that. Yeah, my dude's got his priorities in order. I knew that I would never get this chance again. It turned out that those were just a bunch of conspiracy theories, simplified as much as possible, so he could fit as many as possible on such a small piece of paper, mostly being the popular theories like 5G, Illuminati, COVID vaccines, etc. I didn't get to ask about everything on the note, or if there's any connection between that one and the notes in this subreddit, but I find it really interesting that my country has a similar thing like this. If interested, I can try to remember what the conspiracies were, but it's been quite a while since then and my memory is not the brightest. I mean, that's interesting because this has different stuff on it than the English language schuylkill notes, but it's still a similar, like, thing. The English language notes have, every single conspiracy theory crammed into as small a space as possible. This is apparently the same, although, according to the other post we read, it's a lot of stuff about, like, water. Or, I guess water is related to some of the stuff they posted about, like, 5G and Illuminati. They're putting drugs into water, making the frogs gay. Hmm. And the font and type of paper is similar. I might need to go get a cup of tea in a bit, guys. I'm getting dry. Mm. Well, I'm getting like time traveler vibes. Hey, he explained it. Oh, this guy's been downvoted. Hey, that can't be Romanian because I only read and speak English, and I know the top is instructions for hydrogen extraction from water. I mean, there's a lot of similar words, especially scientific words like hydrogen is just hydrogen, but with one letter changed. Automobile is just automobile. Oh, Proto-Indo-European languages. They share a lot of words and have a lot of similar words, and this is definitely not English, no. That can't be Romanian because I only speak English. I mean, it's kind of a reasonable statement. Like, I only read English and I can read that, therefore, that is in English. So, I mean, I don't think I can read this. Humiditate equals appa equals hydrogen, HHO, H2O, I guess. Automobile, installati. I can't. Maybe some words sound alike in English too, yeah. But I doubt there are words like appa in English. Oh, I'm saying some are the periodic table abbreviations for the elements. Yeah, those wouldn't change between languages. Like, they don't even match some of the words in English. Like, what is it? The periodic table abbreviation for lead is PB or something because it's from the Latin. So maybe if you spoke a more Latin-ish language, your word from lead would be similar to PB. Hmm. Top is instructions for hydrogen extraction. How to build a hydrogen converter for a car, aka water to gas. Which is interesting because that's not really a conspiracy theory. Like, maybe it's related because it's like survivalist shit. Ooh, the government doesn't want you to know that you can just make gas for your car. You can't. Not in any reasonable amount. Not without blowing yourself up, but, the government doesn't want you to know. Hmm. Hmm. The words and explanation he gave me were both in Romanian, and they both contained more things than the instructions. Kind of interesting though, because you can just like look at this and there's like, what else is this? I guess this is a list. Vaccinati, polyhemorrhagic virusi, bacterii, chemicale, pandemi. Yeah, there's some words in here like Raphael is the name of an angel, so that's some religious thing. Then there's vaccine, virus. Download some dolphin porn viruses. The government eats pockies and writes notes in Romanian. Yeah, we cracked it. Virus, bacteria, chemical, pandemic, respiratory, something toxic, radioactive. Yeah, I guess it is a list of just things, but also instructions for chemistry. Wi-Fi, LED, TV. Oh yeah, this is in English. TV, Wi-Fi, LED. 5 to 6G. Holy shit, they have gone up to 6G. Hollywood, Halloween. Catarro equals C. CO2 equals fiata. Simp, real. 12 hours. This is a time cube thing. Like, there's not really 12 hours in a day, you guys. They're way ahead of us. Yep. Person is one step away from poisoning food or blowing up a building. I mean, I feel like the schizos who just go out and do notes, they're kind of like content to just post notes and they don't do much else than that. The ones who kind of simmer in their schizophrenia end up going out and doing something fucked up. He was much more interested in protecting and respecting people around him. One of the theories he told me about was something like egg theory, in a more religious manner, how we should care more about others. Aww. Like Cookie Note is one step away from poisoning people. I mean, sticking stuff into packaged food is kind of one step away from poisoning people. You just gotta stick some poison in there. It can make someone do very dangerous and illogical things. Oh no. Oklahoma City bombing. Now that's another rabbit hole. Maybe we go down that rabbit hole someday. And then the government will come and take our asses. Yeah, the thoughts are bizarre and distressing, but all they're doing about it is quietly distributing flyers. Hmm. And brought up in a classroom, lol. He's bringing up the notes in class. Something reported in Central PA. Notes reported in Central PA. What a blurry ass fucking image. Come on, Reddit. Yep, something notes reported in Central PA. Why is this picture taken like so blurry and from the side? Like, Jarvis, unblur that image. Enhance! Enhance! Exposure is the only way we'll ever find out who's doing this. It's important to keep the conversation going and educating people in class. They need to take classes. Why is my blinking out of sync? God, this is so scary. Concerning is that people are finding them in sealed food products like cereal boxes. Yeah, like I think that is kind of weirder. The Toynbee tiles. Another good one. These are like tiles that people have found embedded into the asphalt of streets, saying weird shit about 2001: A Space Odyssey and Resurrect Dead on Planet Jupiter. That's another cool rabbit hole. You can check that out someday. Huh. Guy found his own Toynbee tile that's rare and undocumented. Imagine a kid just trying to eat cereal and finding a note talking about the Illuminati and 6G Wi-Fi. Yep. I remember hearing a theory a while ago that they are coming from a worker inside a packing plant where all his food is processed since food is sealed. Yeah, that's one theory, but might not work super well because the products are not coming from the same factory or distribution center. Thank you, glistening covers. Yeah. Yeah. We did it, Reddit. Good, good. Oh, I like the internet. Maybe that's why the image is so blurry. What? Because his cum ropes are too glistening? Rim job, Steve. Thanks, rim job, Steve. I didn't even college. Another answer than that, and OP's username becomes disturbing, lol. You've never met any boys in high school? I mean, he might be like an 18-year-old guy in his last year of high school. It could be legal. Hmm. I swear I've seen you a long time ago in comments, Mr. Glistening Ropes. Yeah, I copy paste a reply to all found tampered food note threads, telling the person to report the instance. This guy got to say he's deleted. I told my kid from the start that I was cynical of most of these posts. Huh? My kid, what? Maybe he's a teacher? What? Glistening cum ropes. His glistening cum ropes have invented a child. And that's how babies are made. Some of the food tampering ones may have been real because of the manner which they were reported, but there was a few months between the sub and the other one, where there were obvious copycats posting on throwaways. Yeah, there was another subreddit that kind of got abandoned because it was called Schuylkill Schizo Notes. And actually saying the schizo word out loud is a bit much for the pathetic little redditors and their glistening cum ropes. Hmm. If anyone is near Weisport, you'll find these notes tucked into the canal trails and on the watchtower between there and Jim Thorpe. Who is Jim Thorpe? I just don't believe some of the people on these subs. I mean, that's also reasonable. Like, a lot of the notes are, after a while, a lot of the notes are just copies of each other. Makes me think that even if people aren't, like, making posts to, post and just be like, look, I found a note. Might be copycats going out and making copies of the notes to put in places so they can be like, tee hee hee, someone found my note. They don't know it was me. Ha ha ha. Her deleted one. Person who associated the notes with the speaker at the Masonic Lodge was me. I did it. What do you mean, Masonic Lodge? It's a tentative connection. An early prototype of the notes was found along with a flyer for the sermons at the same location. But it's not all at the same time, so it's circumstantial. However, the language on the flyer does seem to match the tone of the notes. Alright, so someone came in my chat and mentioned a flyer being passed out. Who said it? Analog whiskers! Yes, someone has handing out leaflets. Is this what you were talking about? Analog whiskers, are you here? Report, report. F's in chat. Wild speculation after the Boston Marathon bombing. Ah yes, we did it, Reddit. I suspect a few Redditors have contacted the respective manufacturers, but apparently no one contacted the feds. Fucking glowies. It was only recently that someone who found a note in his cereal got on the news and notified his congressman who promised to bring the FBI into us. I need to go get some water or something. My mouth is drier than my vagina right now. Yeah, Reddit has a rough track record with justice. Right, I am gonna go get some fluid. Hang on. The feds took sheepishly away for knowing too much about the leaflets and the notes. I am hydrated. Now the feds took me away because I was dehydrated. It is time for a water break, everyone. Go drinky water or tea or juice or hard liquor, whatever you need. Drink some breast milk. There's breast milk in the workplace fridge. Go get it. Go drink it. It is free. You can just take it. The government doesn't want you to know that you can just take the breast milk out of the fridge and drink it. You don't have any liquid. Well, like, I don't know, pee or injure yourself and drink your blood. I don't know. Yeah. Scare Theater. There's talking about Scare Theater's video again. We will just have to watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna become a React content slop VTuber. Scare Theater contacted someone somewhere, and any involvement was denied, so who knows? Like, I guess he's talking about the Masonic Lodge talk. I guess he contacted Masonic Lodge, and they were like, what the fuck is this? No, this ain't us. We didn't do shit. Alright, this guy has had a note for 7+ years, and it's in his gun cabinet. Yeah, you can see this is a slightly different format from the other ones we saw that were more recent. Lies, big lies, terrorism, bombings, and mass shootings are designed to create a submissive population. Other destabilization techniques of secret societies, SS. I just got a spam message in chat. Hang on. Last viewers, kill yourself. Tomate. I don't remember how to mod Twitch chat. They caught onto us, oh god. Dear. Mod. How do I chat set? Oh, mod icon. There we go. The bots be bottin'. Hello. Alright, let's, ban. Goodbye. One message was deleted by a moderator. Yeah, me. I did that. Me. I feel so accomplished. I banned a bot. Alright, anyway, where were we? We were reading about schizo messages, yes. You can see this already has some of the, like, interactions. I kind of miss it. Aw, the bot. You like the bot more than you like me? So do I, honestly. That was a pretty good bot. Boy, schizo posting. Hell yeah, brother. I fucking love schizo shit. This is not your everyday garden internet schizo poster. This is like real notes in real life being physically injected into people's boxes of like cereal and Pocky, and also left on like hiking trails. The Illuminati has chronic homo/pedophilic, racist, and sexist quote unquote issues. What did he mean by this? Gaian of Malta and the Vatican. Yeah, there's contractions in this, but they aren't as insane as the more recent ones, which are just absolute fucking wall of text. Like, this isn't even a wall, this is just a fucking brick. You could throw this at someone and it would cave their fucking skull in. Or what tab was I on? Doko. Doko Atashi. There we go. The fanatic push for world government/religion, corp mergers, and global gun control come out of secret societies. The Illuminati can't allow armed Americans or informed citizens exposing their plans. This guy's kept this note in his gun cabinet because it's, like, relevant. Yeah. I'm getting brain damage reading this now, too. Yeah. And this guy notes the older note formatting and context is similar to, like, whatever this guy posted, I guess. Hmm. Actually, I probably could get search. Squidward throwing his brain in trash.gif. Hell yeah. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. There's an archive. Because, like, these are hard. Bleh. This sort of deleted post is hard to get the archive of because, like, the URL changes. You know, the Reddit URL usually has a bit of the title in it, right? Showing up? Yeah, yes. No, don't. But, you know, after they get deleted like this, like turbo nuked, it says deleted by user, and the URL changes to deleted by user, so you have to. Fortunately, you can use a wildcard on sites like archive.today. Very good website. Please give them your love and attention. I use it not every day, but you know, pretty much every day. I spend my time online looking up shit like this. Anyway, possible sorts of notes. Before this sub was created, there was another subreddit called schuylkill schizo notes, which serves the same purpose as this one. 4 months ago, user created a post with a possible source. It is believed that a pastor from a Masonic lodge is behind the notes. The most important piece of evidence is this note, which bears a striking resemblance to earlier notes. How many of these links still exist, huh? Lies! Yeah, this is like a halfway between the older note we were looking at before, the newer notes. Where was I? Doka doka. Yep. Lies. Lies. Damned lies. And statistics. This one has big lies, but it has more of the thick text, really dense text. More of the random underlinings. SS Simbs. You know, more random fractions like that. Lord of the Rings. What? Sauron? Nani? Read/dots. Uh-oh. The dot, the humble period, is now a schizo sign. I guess sexism is a contraction of sexism. They use climate change/violence/epidemics to scare us into submission. To buck break us, perhaps. To rule. One ring to rule them all. To rule. DKs? What's that? Uh-oh, DK the monkey. Need disarmed/surveilled populations, I guess. You get the idea. It's a bunch of schizo shit. But you can see it evolve over time. Oh, racism and sexism. Uh-oh. All right. Possible source found. Oh, Reddit. Nope. Okay, this wasn't archived. Rip. Like I said, there's a website that can like revive old deleted Reddit posts to some degree if they manage to archive them, but you know, it is down. Website broke. Please understand, website machine broke. I'm a Mason. What the fuck is a Masonic pastor? Hmm. Yeah, I guess it's like a pastor is a Protestant church guy. He could become a Mason, but not like a thing that exists in the Mason thing. Their seminars all seem. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? Yeah, that too. Notes, man, what the fuck do they mean? This note. The notes, Mason, what do they mean? Hmm. Notes, however, don't talk all that much about religion. Note offer was at the event. That's also a good point. Like, whatever event this was that someone found a note or a flyer at, he might not have been the one running the event. He might just have been there because it appealed to his mental stuff. Oop. There's an investigative piece. God, I'm going to save that for bummed I missed this seminar. All the secrets of the U.S. State Department and what furniture Hillary Clinton wants in her house. Destroying government email. Oh dear. That's an old what would you call it? A political yab? Okay. Hmm. Remember, Nixon was impeached for 7 minutes of erased audio tape. Hillary Clinton deleted all those emails. Really makes you think. The Watergate tape is also an interesting rabbit hole. They have the technology to see that the read and write heads were placed on the tape at certain points a certain amount of times. I think they came to the conclusion that it was taped over repeatedly, so it was a really deliberate attempt to destroy the tapes. But it's cool that they can look at the trace magnetization of the tapes, and even if they can't get out what was recorded over. Hillary Clinton's Romanian, I knew it. Oh no. Anyway, I'm talking about the Watergate scandal. Shush. They can look at traces of magnetization remaining on the tape, on the audio tape, and be like, oh, this is where someone fast forwarded or rewound to this point, and they put the head down and they played it, or they started recording from this point, and you can tell that they stopped recording at this point. They hit stop and maybe popped the tape out, or they rewound it again, or what have you. It's cool stuff. Digital forensics, but not really digital. Magnetic audio tape forensics. Wow, Bible prophecy has become so clear. I can face the future with confidence. God, I wish that was me. Oh no, nani kore? Ah, no, 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 you can't talk about that. The worst ever time of trouble. When Jesus rescues his people. Yay, Jesus, thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, okay, go to Sunbury, Pennsylvania, Market Street, and this location. Go there. Go there, everyone. Mina-san, off collab at this location. Meet up. Hopefully you guys can't hear me slurping my tea too loudly. Oh, oh, this guy actually found a note in with this seminar papers. Now that's actually quite interesting. Back to this. All right. Found connections by researching the companies and brands that each note is found in. These are definitely some schizo posts, Lamau. Yeah, isn't it great? Alright, so this guy says Junior Mints, Mac and Cheese, Dunkaroos, and Skinny Pop are all owned by Nabisco, with Hershey's owning Skinny Pop. There is also a Nestle beef between Nabisco and especially, not sure if it is relevant. All of these food brands are owned by Nabisco. Could it be happening by a Nabisco factory worker, I guess, slipping these into boxes while packaging? Yeah, that's what I would expect would have to be the case. Someone who works where all of these things, connect and come together. Come on, hands. Onegaishimasu. Come on, hands, behave. Yep, see, my hands are coming together to represent all of these food products. What is the point where these things are all in the same place at some time? Where do they all originate from? But there's also the fact that companies like Nabisco, they just own fucking everything, man. If you go looking too hard, you'll discover that there's a very small collection of companies that own other companies that own other companies that own shit like Junior Mints. And it's just all the same shit, all the way to the top. Alright, not all the notes are found in packaging. An equal amount have been found well, yeah, I mean, the guy who puts these notes in boxes while doing whatever the fuck his job is. He also goes out hiking and puts the notes out there. He just wants to get his schizo message out. Known as a very classic sign of mental illness. Again, that doesn't really that doesn't really say anything against the Nabisco theory, if that's what you want to call it. Hmm. Nothing of the notes say anything against the Hyder Company. Yeah, there's probably not some like elaborate plot of Nestle trying to like trying to sabotage Nabisco by putting funny schizo notes in their packaging. Although that would be a great thing to do. Like someone do that. Next time you want to like undermine someone, find their work and put schizo notes in all of it. Yep. Hmm. No formal investigation because this is a sick person. I mean, yeah, again. But again, I say putting stuff into like food packaging, you don't know if they're going to stop with notes, or you don't know if they're even going to like accidentally breach the like protective covering of something and it gets some other like rat shit in it. Like you don't want to be messing with food packaging, man. Don't think there are any copycats. I don't know about that. There has to be a reason to copycat. Attention, fame, money, power, something. No man, I would totally copycat these letters if I was so motivated because it's fucking funny to think about someone finding this shit. Yeah. Yeah, notes get talked about a lot on the internet. Like, they're not huge, but, they have their own subreddit. Mm-hmm. And these guys are just arguing about copycats. I think you underestimate people's boredom. Yes. Oop. During the Jack the Ripper times, there were hundreds of letters received by the police in very different handwritings, implying different people were writing letters in guise of Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that's also cool. That's also a cool rabbit hole. There are 9 million rabbit holes we could go down. I also want to look into, like, the Zodiac Killer letters sometime. It is a federal crime to tamper with products, but it's not clear if there's really an investigation going into it. Mm-hmm. You are correct. However, a lawyer would argue that the notes were never in contact with any food. Why would the guy putting the notes out have a lawyer? He's like, no, man, I have a constitutional right to schizo post in your cereal box. It's the First Amendment. Hmm. I believe just about ski. The confirmed reports. No, I don't, I don't know what he meant by this. The food was sealed in a bag or plastic separated from the note. The person slides the note in between the flaps of the packaging. No DA is going to bring up charges against a mentally ill person for something so minor. I don't know, man. He might if he's like particularly motivated that week. I don't know. Hmm. Boxes. Okay, I think the guy who found it in his cereal bag is just mistaken. Like, he just got confused about where it was. Okay, that's what they meant. Hmm. There are two Mondelez factories surrounding Schuylkill County. Nabisco makes a huge portion of foods, especially. Hmm, hmm. Hmm. Nabisco is a huge portion of foods, especially shelf-stable, but notes are found in any foods, including frozen items. I'd corroborate this theory because you're mostly correct, except when looking at the most recent posts where the brand is disclosed, and you realize they're not all coming from Nabisco. So that's even fucking weirder. Like, you look at the mega corpos that own every other corpo, and like you don't even have that as like a point of contact. People lend way too much assumption how much human hands are involved in production and packaging, or even the ability/time to do nefarious things with the products. Then on top of that, it doesn't take much research to understand that there are production or packaging facilities that are producing of the different products, etc., etc. That of course raises the question: how is this shit getting into boxes in like a very wide range of places? Like, there's got to be some point, or like at least a small collection of points. Like maybe the guy works multiple jobs at multiple distribution centers. Hmm. Hmm. And this guy talking about the Saturn Storm Cube cult. They hate cubes. They hate them. Oh god, they must fucking hate Minecraft. Dr. Bronner's ghost. Guys, we're all gonna be in a documentary. What are you talking about? Whose Oshimark is this? Dare, dare kono Oshimark, eh? Kono VTuber ga dare. They can buy a product, seal it at home, and bring it to the store. They can't really do that, though. That's how the Tylenol murders that I mentioned earlier went. Like, they have, like, things against that. Like, you can't seal things at home the same way they're sealed on the shelf. They have special, like, machinery, stuffs. Found a note in a chocolate bar. I basically assumed that it was being done by an employee at this. Okay, but in a chocolate bar, that probably would have been, like, in the wrapper, right? Hmm. Unless it's like a. Yeah, now some chocolate bars do come in, like, a cardboard box and then it's wrapped inside that, I guess. Hmm. Mm-hmm. There's no other logical explanation. I don't know, man. Considered a note found in Pennsylvania inside a sealed Skinny Pop chip bag. So it is, they are in the bag sometimes. Yep, precise incision, slip the note inside, reseal it without any noticeable damage. No, that's just unlikely. Hmm. The dates of these discoveries. Every single recorded instance of someone finding these notes in forested areas has occurred on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You know, like maybe he's off from work there. Hmm. But on the other hand, maybe people are out hiking more often on those days. Or they have more time so they go further into the trails. Because it's like, it can't be confirmed that people are finding the notes as soon as they're, like, pasted down. Paper is not a coded message awaiting decryption. I agree on that. Societies. Yeah. Just more about the schizo shit. Could be eyes, front, face, half forward. Maybe? A military formation or symbolic obedience. Yeah, but what's the other shit? RG/fire. Hmm. Fox/CDC. Yeah. Could be media narratives like Fox Move and News. Official reports like the Center for Disease Control, which gets back into like the stuff about viruses and bacteria and COVID and vaccines and so on and so forth. Euro Islam, China's Crescent and Star. Oh. This agents spams. Spams? Spam lam lam lam. Lam. Spams. Secret society agents and families. You know, you're a secret agent, you get mom in on the like secret control of the government and whatnot. You know? Gotta get your cousins in on it. It's like a pyramid scheme. you know, you get all your family members in on it. There's a here's one of the posts from like before the subreddit was created. Schuylkill County residents keep finding bizarre printed messages in grocery items. 4 years ago, by Kobe, the popular rapist. This user I wonder why. Hello, click please. Huh? Whoops. That popular what? No, it's just the cum ropes guy, the glistening cum ropes guy. This is his old account. You know? Yep. Local conspiracy nut. This kid. Ah, that's what those cum ropes went into. Tampering with baby Tylenol has some sinister connotations, which again is the Tylenol murders. Dude needs a lot more than baby Tylenol. Yeah, man, he needs some fucking lithium. Unusual, yet technically correct uses of parentheses. I'm from a different county, and I found this printout in a closed Velveeta skillet meal. Contacted the company, they played phone tag a bit. They told me they would call back the next day, and never did. They don't give a fuck. They invented a new bunch of contractions, indeed. I was admiring that as well. 19th century poetry, like Poe or Whitman. Like, I don't. It's the lost 19th century poet. Oh, it's the time traveler theory again. Oh no. This is what happens when you try to reduce time cube to 2 dimensions. Whoops. Ah, time cube. The county name is something of a mystery itself. Schuylkill. 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 No, Schuylkill. Kill is the Dutch word for creek. Yeah. How clever the name of the source is. What? Oh, oh no, wait. Coal region canary. Yeah, that's clever. It's the canary in the coal mine, but it's for the coal region, and it's a canary bird news website. Wow. Nobody tell him about the OP's username. He hasn't noticed. Anti-vax lady doing something similar. Hmm. I know that's not quite similar. This is very professionally produced compared to the squeakle notes. They could be using vague consumer statistics to reach their target audience. What? Yeah, it's a marketing campaign. I got one of these in my fruit snacks. Oh no, Fillion's fruit snacks have been having schizo. You know, people keep coming back to this post like, hey, found more notes. One last week in a box of cake mix. Mac and cheese, huh? From a year ago. Except it has current events on it about the Hamas and stuff. Hmm. I am guilty of doing this in 2009 in Lincoln County, Missouri. Thought I was slick, but customers complained to the stores, and the stores rewound their security cameras and spotted me with a mohawk slipping flash drives and cases of beer and soda. Police were called, and they already knew me as a spray painter. Oh no. I'm not clicking on TikTok. TikTok, more like shit schlock. Ha ha ha. Planting seeds in people's minds. This guy is awake and knows people won't understand it clearly, so he just made it cryptic. I mean, if they aren't going to understand it, like, do you need to make it cryptic? They're not going to understand it even if it's not cryptic. Yep. Wakel, county residents, keep finding bizarre printed messages and grocery items. Wakel notes. Yep. Lies. Infant Tylenol, yeah. At first glance, I thought it was instructions for the medication. Yeah. How to take Tylenol. Whatever the fuck this is. Yep, you gotta get your Dragon Gangs. DK. Donkey Kong. Oh yeah. Here we go. Before there was a thing that was like Fox/CDC, and now we have like an earlier one where it's Fox News. He says it in full. Long school. Weird shit. Note found in box of Duncan Heine's cake mix. Yeah, this is like the same note. No, actually not. Lord of the Rings again. This guy fucking hates Tolkien. Lama. Yeah, there's some similar text in here, but they're not the same. Wheels of Control. Hmm. Similar notes, but not identical. It was folded real small, so the only word on the front was lies. And I thought, oh my god, what is this? I was scared and thought, why would someone put this in here? Monster. Hmm. I think it's people going around putting them in random objects, so when people buy them and open them, it's there. Yeah, that's what happens when you put something in a place. It is there. Not the first time in 2020. Yep. Back in April at the height of the pandemic scare, a friend at Coal Speaker. At least it's not Coal Burner, haha. Actually took the time to type out the bizarre message to find in an attempt to find a duplicate of it online. That search turned up fucking empty. Wow. Go sleep now. Okay, I might tap out in a bit. My throat is getting very dry. Huh. What does it all mean? I don't fucking know, man. You tell me. Obama. Does anyone here know Obama's last name? Very comfy schizo reading. I'm glad to provide schizo reading. Gave me an emoji. What emoji is that? I can't see from here. Huh? Little, little, oh, it's a little fat cat. Yeah. Yeah. Someone who is heavily opinionated about the KKK and the Illuminati. Yeah. 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 And here's a Reddit Bureau of Investigation post as well from 4 years ago. I also typed up the message. Nice to terror shootings, riots, not report. And that's funny because like you're only taking one letter out for an apostrophe. Like how much space are you actually getting back? JK ward. Like is that supposed to be like he went to war or he was warned of them? Schizophrenic notes to self, perhaps trying to organize fragment notions of conspiracy into a unifying theory. Or someone went sideways on a meth bender. Hmm. Probably why is shit. Yeah. A mishmash of every conspiracy I've ever heard about. Yeah, like that isn't even the first time we've heard this kind of take on it, right? You know, the Romanian note, the guy said, "Oh, I put every conspiracy theory on here. I just found one too, exact same words, huh? Into a bridge." Yeah, so there's like exact same note being found in two very different locations. Oop. All right. There's one in non-murder mysteries that's only like a year ago. These notes keep popping up in other subs about mysteries, like, you know, non-murder mysteries, internet mysteries, RBI. Every time someone's like, yep, we have a sub for that, go to Schuylkill Notes. Go to Schuylkill Notes. Golden Age, Sims, Geom, Flower, Star, Erms, Emth, Big, Light, Sims, Whippy, Mill, Wheel, Fountain, Bee, Befly. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess that's like a monarch thing, right? What is it? The Monarch Project conspiracy, the butterfly. But also, you're just like listing out every single symbol you can think of. Lamp, lantern, illuminat. Okay, now lamps and lanterns are conspiracy theory because Illuminati says Lumi in it. Oh no, Lumi from Phase Connect. She's the Illuminati. A little more than 3 years since we and Cole Speaker. Yeah, that's about the original note. They keep fucking coming. Hmm. If it was handwritten, I would have thought hypergraphia, a temporal lobe issues, or a manic episode. But like, was this typed and printed out for mass production? Yeah, that's another question that nobody has any answers for. Like, I wanna see someone who has an actual physical note, like check it for microdots and stuff. Look into what printer printed it. Hmm. Yep, classic schizophrenic writing, absolutely textbook. Which of course kind of like brings into question any case where you find like, oh, this is a similar like flyer or whatever. Is this the Squeakle Notes guy? Is this him? Red detected. What? Culprit works at the food box company. Yeah, he solved it. He works at the food box company. All the food boxes go through the food box company. Hmm. Going to a factory, it would be popping up all over. Hmm. I wouldn't eat that butter. Too late. That garlic bread hit. Maybe the note will start to make sense now, huh? Yeah, Toynbee tiles. Earth shop. Loop on, it's not butter, eh? How dare you? How dare you besmirch the good name of butter? Or again about the Saturn theories, which I don't feel like getting into right. Two in Wildwood and Harrisburg, Pa. Harleysel. Wrapped in plastic and pinned to trees or paper clipped to bushes. Hmm. Or is one of them something lines of ears and pinching? Yeah, that's right. I read part of that one. Weird fucking shit. But, like, there's no grand arching ritual or narrative or theory here. Or is there? I had a tab open. Guy thinks he has the basic story of the notes, maybe. Like, having been staring at these notes a bit for the last, it's been like 2 hours, damn. The world's oldest race, Dragon Kings. Gods, kings, blue iles. Dragon Kings don't appear to be reptilian humanoids. Lizard people! Rather are red-haired, pale-skinned humanoids with elongated heads. Dragon Kings worship and are priests of Saturn, most often represented by a black cube. Uh-oh! Cubes again. Long bygones. Oh, yes. Yes, Illuminati. Illuminati. Can I make that my Oshi mark? Usage development of signs as a form of dog whistling and ritual communication also date back to the golden age of Saturn. I don't know anything about this shit, but as you can see, there is some sort of coherent story developed in here. Vaguely. Oh god. So where does this leave us? I don't fucking know. Oh hey, the Aryans. Yay. Oh no. Oh no. Lizard people. Lobotomite language. What are you talking about? What? Saturn is proposed to have once been our sun. Oh no. Mishmash bullshit stolen from right-wing grifters, InfoWars, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Proposed by who? I don't fucking know, man. Someone somewhere. They've Ike lizard people nonsense. Well, I mean, it's like a unique remix of the lizard people nonsense. Mm-hmm. This guy's like, hey, you can't shit talk to right wing grifters. That's you calling the left wing bad or something. Hey. Wait, cool note. Alex Jones, yeah. Alright, and there's this other weird fucking thing. Speaking of notes found on trails, there's a fucking bridge that's just covered in schizo graffiti. On Reddit, load the image. Come on. There we go. Like, this is another thing that just came up. Like, talking about schizo shit. There was a lot of trash piled up in a dead raccoon. Oh no, not the raccoon. No. Oh. Separates. Alright, let's watch the Scare Theater video real quick to play us out. That music's from, like, Silent Hill, right? Whenever I watch gameplay of that game, I just think about all the spooky YouTubers who have used that very song in their spooky YouTube video. I'm like, goodness.
In the midst of our day-to-day lives, sometimes odd things pop up to break the routine. These could be things like unexpected encounters and strange events, but in some cases, it could be something as simple as a piece of paper. On July 29th, 2019, a user on the
What? I'm lagging. Okay, we're gonna watch this in a nice crispy 240p because my browser
WTF
is
subreddit made a strange post titled, "This note wrapped in plastic I found in the woods while hiking." The picture he included shows a piece of paper with a word salad typed all over it. None of the sentences make much sense, and it is filled with grammatical errors and oddly placed punctuation and underlines. The post gained a bit of traction, with most of the other people being equally confused by this. But people didn't pay much mind to it, and just wrote it off as the work of someone with a mental illness. That is, until a few months later, more notes just like this one started popping up in other subreddits from people who also claimed they found these outside in the woods and at local parks. At the time, this wasn't some hugely talked about mystery, so the sudden influx of notes came as a surprise to everyone. But things were just getting started. Eventually, these notes weren't just found outside on nature trails, but they started making their way indoors. One user found one of these notes inside an Aleve medicine bottle, someone else found one in a box of brownie mix, and yet another found one inside another food product. Whatever these were, they were increasing in frequency and finding their way into food items. Some of these were even found inside of items that had been sealed. Now, everyone was interested in getting to the bottom of this, and that started with finding out where this was happening. It was quickly discovered that most of these notes were found in or close to the Schuylkill County of Pennsylvania. This marked the beginning of the mystery of the Schuylkill notes, which is still ongoing to this day. It wasn't long before this started being covered by some other news sites. On April 16th, 2020, CoalSpeaker.com reported on this, describing cases of people finding these cryptic notes inside of food products. They mentioned the notes appeared to be mainly in Schuylkill County, with the notes they received reports from including Pottsville, Tamaqua, and Ashland. Later that year, the story was also picked up by Coal Region Canary and Horror Report. As the story picks up, so did Reddit posts from Pennsylvania residents claiming to have found one of these notes. For the next couple years, it became somewhat common to see posts from people reporting these notes being found in food products and along nature trails. Near the end of 2023, this took a turn from being a strange internet mystery to actually becoming part of a legal investigation when the story got picked up by the Pennsylvania news site's PA homepage. In the report, a man from Luzerne County, which borders Schuylkill, was being interviewed about finding one of these notes inside a box of Lucky Charms cereal.
I open up the bag like this, so I poured it out in my bowl, and out comes this paper that was all folded up just like this. Probably not gonna eat it. I don't know what's inside the cereal. If this note was laced with anything. You know, it's not the note that really bothers me. It's just
cereal box jump scare.
These notes are found inside food, like kids food.
Just like a couple of other cases reported, this man said the note was actually found inside the sealed part of the cereal, suggesting this may have been done in the factory this was produced. Tampering with food like this is no joke. It's actually a federal crime. That's why I put the man and the PA homepage investigative team contacted the FBI regarding this. The next day, the same news site made an update report informing us that 2 congressmen have also gotten involved and said they are staying in touch with the FBI and FDA regarding this. For lack of a better word, shit just got real. In the midst of all the excitement, some Reddit detectives got involved in the mystery. On August 31st, 2023, a subreddit called Schuylkill Schizo Notes was created, but because of the controversial name, a couple weeks later they moved to a new subreddit simply called Schuylkill Notes. Shortly after this community was created, it became flooded with a collection of notes found in Pennsylvania, along with people chiming in with their own theories. At the time of writing the script for this video, I've read every single post on both of these subreddits, but seeing as new posts are made every day, by the time this video is up, I'm sure there will be a lot more to look through. The earliest Reddit post including this note that I initially found was one from 2019 that I included at the beginning of this video, but there are some appearances of this note that likely occurred years prior to this that we will get to later. I spoke to the user that wrote this post, and oddly enough, this one came from Virginia, not Pennsylvania.
Fucking music.
When investigating a cryptic note like this one, of course, the first place most will begin is trying to decipher it. By looking at these notes, it's clear that there isn't any complex cipher going on here. It's just a straightforward message with most of the words being abbreviated and punctuated strangely. So it isn't too difficult to quote-unquote decipher the code. I also want to note that although these notes appear to be identical at first glance, they're actually not. They are incredibly similar, but upon closer inspection, they each have very slight differences to them. For the most part, however, they're all pretty similar. A lot of the note analysis on the subreddit seems to be done through people running this through AI, so that's what I decided to do. First, I took the people running this through AI.
Asked the AI to shorten the text. Yeah, I asked the AI to make it worse. It's even more creepy now for some reason. Yeah, that's because you just literally just made it worse.
So that's what I decided to do. First, I took the raw text from the 2019 notes and asked ChatGPT to analyze that. It told me that the message was a convoluted mixture of conspiracy theories mentioning secret societies, historical figures, celebrities, and religious leaders. Furthermore, it touches on some sort of hidden history surrounding ancient races and cultures. After this, I asked ChatGPT to rewrite the message, but this time, format all the abbreviations into full words and correct any grammatical errors so we could get a message that was easier to read. After it spit this out, I asked ChatGPT to analyze our newly formatted message, and it more or less said the same thing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and analyze the hodgepodge of
I mean, like, if you're using a publicly available AI, they're all cucked and they won't talk about conspiracy theories anyway.
Conspiracy theories in here,
like, the damn
because quite frankly, it's all baloney, and I don't think diving too deeply into this stuff is going to help much to understanding the origin of these notes. What is clear from all of this is that we're likely dealing with the work of someone with a mental illness, most likely untreated schizophrenia. A user on the schuylkill notes subreddit mentioned that he suffers from psychosis from time to time, and says this writing reminds him of the stuff he would write during an episode. Furthermore, there are other writings available online from other confirmed people with schizophrenia that share a striking similarity to this in the way they are formatted and filled with nonsense. The author of these notes having some sort of mental illness isn't really something that is disputed at this point. For the most part, I think that's the main takeaway from the note itself, and we'll have to get a bit more creative if we want to find the actual origin of it. Before we dive into some of the theories that have been floating around, we need to address something important to keep in mind. Copycats. As this mystery started gaining more traction, more notes started being posted to Reddit. Like I said before, this has been going on since at least 2019, but most of these reports really started to pick up in 2023. I've saved and analyzed over 50 notes, and over 60% of them were posted in 2023. Now I'm sure this is partially because before this mystery became known, people were less likely to report these notes since they didn't think much of them. But it's almost certainly the case that some of these are also copycats from people who want to feed into the mystery. It's impossible to tell which of these are genuine and which are copies, but there are some methods we can use to at least get an idea of which ones to be suspicious of. A user on the Schuylkill Notes subreddit was kind enough to create a map showing the locations of all the Schuylkill Note reports they were able to gather. Most of these are of course in Pennsylvania, but there are a few outliers that are way outside of PA. I think it's fair to at least be suspicious of these. Another possible method to use is the format of the notes. If we look at them chronologically, we can see that all the earlier notes had the word lies printed in the two left corners of the paper. This detail seems to have been omitted at around the beginning of 2021. There are some later notes discovered that have this detail again, which might indicate they are copycats. Another big thing to look for is duplicate notes. Like I mentioned before, at first glance these notes appear to be identical, but they actually have subtle differences among almost all of them. A copycat may not have noticed this and just assumed they were all the same, so in their copy, it should be identical to a note that was already discovered. I analyzed all of the 50 plus notes I collected for similarities, and they all did have subtle differences, except for a few. About 20% of these were exact duplicates of a previous note, with not a single change. One of these was even a duplicate with the older format I talked about a moment ago. The final method we can use to figure out which notes to be suspicious of would be the notes that seem a bit too convenient to have been found. In most of these reports, the notes were relatively spread out, and most people didn't find more than one or two in a single location. There are a couple exceptions to this, however. 4 Reddit posts that stuck out to me were ones where people found a lot of notes in one location. These were the 4 locations in question, where the total number of reported notes equaled 5, 10, 4, and 5. If you look at the distance between these areas on Google Maps, you'll see that someone could travel to each of these locations in less than an hour. Also note that 2 of these locations contain duplicates. Compare that to some of the other locations where less notes were found, and it would take several hours to make it to all of those locations. This doesn't necessarily mean these are copycats, but if they were, these would be ideal locations to do it. And that applies to all of this, by the way. None of these methods guarantee that a note was a copycat. It is possible that whoever the genuine person leaving the notes is could have just made a few exact duplicates among the other unique notes. And it's also possible that the outdated format notes, which were found later, could have also been from the genuine note leaver who just wanted to reuse that format for some reason. There's no guarantee. It's just to give a general idea of which notes to at least be a little suspicious of. With that out of the way, let's dive into a few theories. One of the earlier ideas brought up was that this might be part of some sort of ARG or movie promotion gimmick. This is extremely unlikely. This has been going on for years with no serious developments leading to anything other than these notes.
Either.
You'd think in that amount of time, an ARG or movie promotion would lead to something substantial. And the fact that these notes are appearing in food products pretty much takes this theory out of the question entirely. There's no way a promotion team would risk committing a federal crime for the sake of an advertising campaign. So this definitely is not it. So assuming some other person is doing this for some reason, it leads to the question of how they're doing it and how many people are involved. Because some of these notes have been reported to have been found inside of a sealed food item, a lot of people think whoever is behind this could be a factory worker. An article on Skeptical Inquirer written by J.D. Sword actually looks into this possibility. He believes this to be unlikely because, based on the geography and the fact that not all of these food products were from the same manufacturer, it wouldn't make sense for all of these to come from the same facility. So this could only really be the case if there are multiple people involved, all working at different facilities. Sword says this probably is not the case because warehouse workers are monitored very closely and put on tight schedules. So being able to pull this off for this long while remaining unnoticed would be nearly impossible. He goes on to say that even the possibility of this being the work of someone who just delivers the products is also unlikely, because usually these products are delivered on pallets wrapped in plastic. With all that in mind, it is most likely the case that these are being placed in the products after the merchandise reaches the shelves. I agree with him here. This is further backed up by a Reddit post on the Schuylkill Notes subreddit, where someone mentioned that their grandmother actually noticed someone slip one of these notes into her purse once. I also agree with J.D. Sword when he says that there's most likely only one person at work here, not multiple. This has been going on for years, and so far, no one has caught the person in the act. If there were several people involved in this, it would be much more difficult for all of them to remain undetected for so long. You might be asking, if it wasn't done in a factory, then how did the notes make it into sealed products? Well, the notes being found in sealed products wasn't actually all that common. Of all the posts they found reporting finding these notes inside of food products, only 5 of them claimed it was inside of a seal. And for a lot of those, it was unclear if they meant the note was inside the actual sealed plastic, or if they simply meant the cardboard box which contained the food had never been opened before. And it's easy to get one of the notes into a box of food while leaving it untampered. On the same Skeptical Inquirer article I mentioned before, J.D. Sword tested out a method of getting a note into a box of Lunchables while leaving it untampered, and it was very simply done by pitching the corners of the box and using a flat object to push the note through. In the Horror Report article from 2020, they even have a report from someone who said the note they found was tucked into a box of cookies underneath a small piece of torn cardboard, implying that this was clearly done at the store, not a factory. So, at this point, what we can be relatively confident about is that the person doing this is
could be someone walking in distribution, or working in distribution, rather than manufacturing and packaging. Yeah, although that's still pretty weird because these are all over the place. I mean, I guess if they pick up stuff from the manufacturer and tamper with it, then deliver it.
Likely someone with a mental illness who is working alone and likely is not placing these notes at a factory. But we're still missing how this all started. There are a lot of posts on Reddit that try to connect the conspiracies in these notes to the work of other well-known conspiracy theorists, but I don't think any of that stuff is too solid. This note is just a huge mixture of a bunch of conspiracy theories with no real structure to it. I'm sure if you really tried, you could connect this to 1,000 different conspiracy theories, but that won't get us anywhere. We need something more conclusive. The answer to this might be going further back. Near the beginning of this video, I mentioned one of the earliest Reddit posts including this note was posted in 2019, but that might not be the case. In September of 2023, a user on the Schuylkill Notes subreddit named Hair Deodorant made an interesting discovery that is our biggest lead yet. He found a Reddit post from
hair deodorant. Well, at least it wasn't Cum Job Steve or whatever it was. Cum Job
2015
Mike.
that includes an
Mike's
image of
sinking
one of his Google Notes.
ropes.
This would make it
Listening
the
cum
earliest one
ropes.
we have found so far. The post mentioned that they found a note along with a pamphlet on the floor of a changing room. This is the note. It's clearly a Schuylkill note, and what's interesting is that you can see the writing was slightly more coherent from the rest of the notes. The pamphlet included with the note was advertising a seminar that would be taking place at a Masonic lodge in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Sunbury is in Northumberland County, which is right next to Schuylkill. In an article Hair Deodorant linked about the seminar, the speaker spoke about how he believed that we are all entering end times, and that the second coming of Christ could happen at any moment. I contacted the speaker of the seminar and included pictures of the notes and pamphlet. He said he recognized the pamphlet, but has never seen the notes and knows nothing about it. I also contacted the lodge, but received no response. I asked all of you to please not try to contact these people, as all you're going to do is annoy them. Don't be that person. Now, I don't think this entire group is in on the whole Schuylkill Notes phenomenon or anything like that. I still confidently believe that whoever is doing this is working alone. But these types of groups can sometimes attract people that aren't all there in the head. That's not to knock these groups at all, but I'm just telling it how it is. Because of the fact that the earliest note we know of was found with this pamphlet near Schuylkill County is pretty huge. It's definitely possible that whoever is leaving these notes was someone who attended the lodge or who was at least interested in it. As far as I'm concerned, this is the most solid lead we have right now. We have a lot of information right now, but this is just the beginning. As time goes on, I'm sure much more is going to be revealed, and I look forward to seeing where this goes next. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the flip side.
Bye bye. I'm about to tap out too. I'm tired. Alright, everyone. The most fervent believer, the new recruit. Yeah. Might be something like that going on. Yeah. Alright, play us out. Silent Hill music. 2 hours is a good time to call it. Yeah. Wow, almost exactly 2 hours. Woo! Woo. Enjoyed the stream. Have a good rest of your day. You too. Thanks for coming. Oh, that's a cool video. Hang on. I'm distracted. Level 255 Weedle. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I know what I'm watching next. Oh, Pokemon Yellow without EXP. That too. Woo. All right. I'm set for today. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah. Hang on. I'm gonna play a funny song.
Are dead, dead, dead. You are dead, dead, dead.
Thought you were hot. Guess what? You're not.
You are dead, dead, dead.
You brought your whole adventure to a screeching halt.
You are dead, dead, dead.
Your heart has stopped and your brain is cold. You were so dead, and now your body is starting to mold. You were so dead. This dimension cuts like a knife.